I know some of you probably clicked away, stopped this action for whatever reason. The cool thing about recording actions is they're very forgiving. If this stopped recording, no big deal. Just make sure it's selected, and I'm going to deselect that object out there just so we're back to this base state. And then with this new action selected, click the record button. You can add, you can edit, you can subtract. It's really forgiving. It's so simple. Okay, I left this open so I have a cheat sheet here. Set selection. Nothing is selected right now. We want to set this up so it's automatic. So clicking on this hamburger menu, these three lines right here, select object. And I showed you the object had a name of 1. You can name yours whatever you want. And I'm thinking, when I got to here, man, maybe I should have given it a name because this is already selected. Now, if I leave it at 1 and I don't select whole word, what happens if I get up to 11? Will it select that layer, or will it try to, because it has a 1 in it? So for whatever reason, until I understand this completely, I switched that to whole word and clicked OK. So that set that selection. You notice that's selected now, and I didn't do it. So what's next? Copy. Command C. Okay, look, it copied that. Layer, new layer. Well, let's click on the new layer icon. What's next? Paste in place. Now that's Shift Command V, but it's also right here, Edit, Paste in place, right there. And you notice that that went on our new layer. Okay, what's after paste in place? Object Mosaic. Now this is selected, and that's selected because of our actions. You go up to Object, right here in the menu, down to Create Object Mosaic. And you've got the ellipses there, which says I'm going to get a dialog box. How many is the number of tiles? Now, I already talked about the math. 25, tab 25, and then the rest of this is just fine. Just fine. Make sure Delete Raster is on so that you get rid of the raster image on this layer, because we still have our original embed down here, the original image. Let's just get rid of the raster that we duplicated. Click OK. And then after that, we have ungroup twice. It's Object, Ungroup, Shift Command G. Okay, Shift Command G, and there's a shortcut, Shift Command G, just to show you that worked. And then deselect all is Shift Command A. It's under Select, Deselect, Shift Command A. Boom. And then we stop our action, throw away this layer. And why are we doing that? Why? Now we have to do it all over again. No, because we recorded an action, right? So with nothing selected, notice nothing is selected. And ignore these other layers because I've already made these, but I've hidden them and locked them so they don't even come into play. Come up to the name of our action and click the play button. We get an option to name our layer. How cool is that? 25x25. So 25 by 25, and I'll click OK. And there it is. And there, you notice these are all deselected, and we ungrouped it so that what if there were a color that it was really bad? You can click here and you can exchange it. Now, we can make a mosaic in Photoshop too, but the flexibility in Illustrator is the Photoshop cannot compete with this. Where Photoshop's going to dominate Illustrator is when we take multiple versions of these over into Photoshop, use our blend modes and find edges to make magic happen. There you go. You have learned how to create your own actions to create mosaics. And all I did with these other actions, let me close this up. All I did with these other ones is just, hey, in that object, well, it's going to be deselected because we don't have anything selected. I'll come down here and select that. Under object, create object mosaic. How many tiles do you want? And remember, because we're going to take this into Photoshop, if we were just staying into Illustrator, any number would work, any whole number. Because we're going into Photoshop, we want whole pixels for these individual units. That will allow Photoshop to really work its magic. All right, I hope this is helpful to you. This is a jumping off point. This is sticking our toe in the water. There is so much more left, and we'll talk about this over the next few weeks.